Hey, it's Jeff again. I made this little comic booklet out of my old cards for you guys. A little book's pretty cool. I never made a book before. But, yeah, once again, titled F Glyphosate. And there's no, it's kind of like hit and miss on people that say, oh, glyphosate's not bad for you, and oh, glyphosate is bad for you. So here's my opinion on why it is bad from all the things I've heard from all the great people out there. So glyphosate is the dots, the crops, sky, tractor, sprayers, glyphosate, 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 glyphosate. So the fields, the crops, 95% of our crops are sprayed with this stuff. Alright, so there's no questioning that. Yes, you're eating glyphosate. Okay, so is it good or is it bad? That's what we want to know. It's on everything. Okay. This is how they take care of the weeds. They spray glyphosate. That's why they spray it, for the weeds. Okay. So U.S., Canada, Europe, etc. food regulators are allowing its people to consume chemicals such as glyphosate. There's probably like 1,000 other chemicals, but glyphosate happens to be a bad one. So residue on food is tested for safe levels. Animals are fed higher levels. Then we eat the sick animals sick from the glyphosate. Oops. So U.S., Canada allows citizens to consume 15 milligrams per kilogram per day, so that you get your daily dose, of course. Europe allows citizens to eat 3.5 milligrams per kilogram per day, so you're still getting your dose no matter where you are. It's just a little smaller. It's as safe as table salt. Organic means chemical free. If 15 to 20% of the population bought organic, chemical industry would fall. Okay, you see this? This is an eyeball. This is organic. And now you are seeing organic everywhere you look. Wow. Alright, hopefully. Alright, now, what happened before there was glyphosate, right? What happened before 1974 when they decided to start poisoning our food? Before 74, organic was life. People used to help each other. There was no farmer equipment, there was just people, and they helped each other. And we lived, and we made it. So what the heck is happening these days, So this is a graph. This would be the amount of gallons annually sprayed, right? So this would be the lowest, this would be the highest. This is 74 to 2018, and as you can see, the tolerance of the weeds has gone up, so every few years they have to add more, and now we've gotten to this point where there's like an exponential curve right here where it's about to just go out of control. The weeds are about to take over. No amount of chemicals is going to help. It's going to just kill the vegetation. It's going to kill the microbes in the dirt, which is going to kill the immunity of the plants, and shit's not going to grow. So as the tolerance went up, they started to add 2 or 3 different chemicals, right? So now it's 1,000 times stronger than it used to be, and that caused people to start turning red on different parts of their body, face blotches, oh look, there's a new disease out. Yeah, right, it's the chemicals that you're eating. Alright. So in 1974 they had what I'm just saying 10x. I don't know what the concentration was at 74, but let's just say 10x glyphosate was sprayed onto the plants, and then they died. And then people were like, whoa, that stuff kills shit. Alright. Nowadays, if you sprayed 10x on a plant, it will just flick you off and say, I'm flipping you the birds. And people are like, whoa? Do you see that? Do you see? And then 2018 again, they added 2,4-D plus 100 times glyphosate. I don't know, this is just my guesstimation, but I'm sure it's 10 times higher than it was 40 years ago when they started this crap. And now you spray glyphosate plus all this shit, and this motherfucker, excuse me, this guy is like, that stuff will kill anything. And then people are like, I'm sad, and they got redness over their face because all their bacteria that makes their good feel-good chemicals has gotten killed off. It's not funny, but it's just what I see. My battery, I don't know if I have enough memory to do this whole thing, so I might have to do a part 2. But every 6 years, the amount of glyphosate used has doubled. Laws keep getting passed. Somehow, laws keep getting passed to let this happen. And so I'm pretty disappointed in the government. Yeah, you know who you are. In 2008, glyphosate started being sprayed on non-GMO foods. Not GMO, on non-GMO foods to dry them out. Just to make more money for whoever wants to, farmers or the industry or whatever. Like sugar, wheat, beans, legumes, oats, barley, etc. Yes, it is in the beer. If you're drinking a lot of beer, you probably got a red face. And you're probably sad a lot. And it's not right. You should be able to drink your beer and not feel sad. What is glyphosate? In '64, it was patented as a pipe cleaner. It grabs a hold, it's so strong, and it grabs a hold of minerals inside of pipes and literally rips it out. So, I mean, if you could clean a pipe with just putting glyphosated water in it, then what do you think it's doing to your pipes, right? It's also a mineral binder, because that's how it works to clean the pipes. It binds to the minerals and then pulls them with it. It's an antibiotic, which means it kills the bacteria in your stomach, which you have 2.5 pounds of that stuff. It's also Roundup. Drew a cool little picture there. It's pretty small. And then it's a synthetic amino acid, which is probably one of the worst things. I forgot to write, it's also an endocrine disruptor, which has to be the worst, because you're dealing with hormones, and ladies are having a lot of problems these days, and it's because the synthetic amino acid, and it's a endocrine disruptor. And then, so glycine is an amino acid, and it looks like this, and it has this arm. I colored it blue, right? And glyphosate is the same thing. Over here it has the same, like OH, and then the arm, OH, and then the arm, and then it has the down thing, the up thing, down thing, up thing, but then it has this whole extra part, another up arm and another down, so it's almost like a whole nother thing. And so glyphosate has a stronger charge than glycine, so the body picks glyphosate over glycine. So if they're both available, the body will choose this one rather than this one every time. And then this little arm protrudes out of the protein, and the protein doesn't work right, and it's either super inefficient, which makes you tired, or it's super doesn't work and I have to rebuild it, which is inefficient. So that's the problem here, is the extra arm is poking out, and the body grabs it over the glycine. So glycine is one of 20 amino acids that gets built into proteins in each cell in the body. Each protein has a different task. In total, there are 10 billion proteins in each cell. 10 billion. Like, I just want you guys to understand how many freaking proteins are in one cell, right? So the body has 37 trillion cells, right? So one little mess up or two little mess ups, no big deal. But when you have 10 billion mess ups and 37 trillion cells, potentially, this is a big number. This is not good. So 1 part per billion of glyphosate, 1 part per billion of glyphosate has 3.5 trillion particles of glyphosate in it. So if you have 1 daily dose of glyphosate, that's enough to fuck up a protein in every cell in your body. An example, that wheat has 3 parts per billion of glyphosate residue on it, or 400 parts per million, or what have you. It's kind of slightly confusing. Still making it with the memory card here. When a protein gets folded incorrectly, the cell that it is in has to unfold the misfolded protein. This taxes the body of energy. The human body has not formed a way to detox a synthetic amino acid. It doesn't exist in nature. Misfolded proteins stack up, cluttering up each cell. The body can't break down glyphosate. Eventually, confused, the body starts making incorrect allergies to incorrect foods. Unsure of what's happening, the body starts to get inflamed. The body is fighting itself, trying to get the bad guy, glyphosate, out. At this point, the gut is definitely low on good bacteria. The person is feeling disconnected and discomforted. The immune system is 90% located on the opposing side of the entire gut lining, which is 1 cell layer thick. Excuse me. Because the gut lining is so thin, it is very vulnerable